Okay, let's start putting her back together with the, just kind of like backwards from what we did. I've slid the barrel bands back on it. And if you'll notice on the front barrel band, it's got a little notch, and I've got it where it'll line up for the screw there, and also there's a notch on the barrel for this barrel band. This barrel band's kind of funny because the screw on this one has the threads at the end, so when you put your barrel band on, be sure you have the threaded side, which where the threads go in on your side there. I like to have both the screw heads on one side, so that's kind of how I've got them set up here. So, all right.
Little OCD kicking in there.
Yes. We'll put this on like so. We cleaned off. There was a little bit of rust, you remember, on this magazine too. We cleaned all that off, and then also, you'll notice there's a little trail right there, and that's the groove for this pin here, and you got to get that lined up. And then this pin here has a trail also. After you install the magazine, the follower and spring, then you can install this pin. So kind of got to get all that monkey motion together right there. So of course make sure you got the correct end in here going into the gun.
One with the screw holes towards the front.
Yes, let's do it like this right here. This is always kind of a
This one right here seems to be a lot more tighter than the
quite a bit tighter than the Winchester. Alright.
Obviously Marlin didn't want this thing coming off.
No, they didn't. And we want to make sure we get that baby in there. I'm just going to I'm not really tapping on it, but I am. Just, I see where the discoloration on the blue is right there. And I'm just kind of trying to make sure that baby goes in there correctly. There it goes.
I gotta try to squeeze that baby back on there.
Yes, I think we're just going to kind of. There it goes.
Alright.
Yeah, the Marlin, I will say one thing over the Winchester, these particular two rifles, the Marlin seems to have a little sturdier
Construction.
yeah, a little bit on the on this area here anyway. Kind of got that lined up. And like I said, there's a slot in the magazine tube for this pin to go through. This is your long one with the threads on the top. Show that there, and that goes on this side. And then we'll need to get it we need to kind of turn it this way just a little bit. I'm trying to get it all lined up there where it'll fit. Now let's see. It should line up in that hole there. If it doesn't, then you're not quite. I'm just getting it square with this hole here at the bottom here that's going to go where the magazine tube cap goes. So that's what I was kind of fiddling with. We got the barrel bands back on there, and like I say, really have to make sure that you got everything lined up. I was using this small punch here to kind of really get it lined up and really make sure the threads are not being forced, because this metal is thin and kind of there's not much to it. So if you strip the threads, you're in a mess there. But that one finally got it lined up, and this one lined it up pretty good and got it in there, and put the little scan, the hood scan, what Marlin called it, something like that I think. But basically the sight hood. We'll just snap that baby. Scene 2, did clean the follower and don't put any, I did run a lightly oiled rim oil rag inside the magazine too, just because you know it had a little bit of rust on the outside of it. And but I didn't put any oil on, you know, anything really. I mean, the magazine, inside the magazine, you don't really need any oil. It just gathers dust. But I did kind of rub a little on the follower there, just with my fingers. But just a threaded screw.
Right.
And this side here should work just like this. There it is. I'll see if I can start that in there.
There we go.
I believe the first thing I need to set in here will be the shell lifter.
Alright.
That's upside down. I'm looking at the gun upside down. Let's try this. Now it's fitting properly. I was wondering what the deal was. There we go. I was looking at it upside down. Now we'll put the bolt block.
Alright.
And that should. I put a little bit of light Wilson's grease on the sides of where it slides down this channel. Right here. We'll just drop that in.
Alright.
Then we should have a pin. I believe it's this one.
The threads at the end of the screw there.
Yes.
It's going to slide across the receiver, thread to the other side. Screw that baby down in there. Alright.
Again, I just got her
hand tight.
tight there.
What's next?
Next thing we will take
A trigger block.
assembly.
Alright.
Actually, guys, maybe getting ahead of myself here. We got to put our shell or gate in there. May have gotten. All right, guys. I got that in there. And here's a little trick to that. If you put this in first, you should put the gate loading in first. But if you don't, you can't get this bar up. Just pull your hammer block back out.
That back out. Lift up your follower, and it should be able to do a
Lift
somersault
up your shell holder,
backwards.
somersault back. There you go, easy breezy. So if you do what I did and forget to put it in till after you should have already put it in, it's no biggie.
A little trick you guys might want to know, just in case, you know. Some things we wish we would have known the first time.
There we go. Now we're catching back up. Okay, we got the trigger line back out there. We kind of got it offset. We're gonna line up this pin.
Make sure baby's all lined up.
We'll be good. All right. You got that in there. Got the hammer strut assembly back in there. It's kind of tough. You get it lined up and you kind of work it over to the side and then pop it in there.
That little groove right here.
There's a little groove. You get it popped in. Got that in there. I tightened up the screws. I had them all kind of just snug. I tightened up all the screws on everything. And put the little offset hammer lever back on it.
Yes, yes.
Now let's go ahead and cock the hammer back. Nope, we need to do that. Good deal.
It's got a little notch on it right here, so you know they kind of slide that into the side of the receiver there. It's got a little notch on it.
Put just a little dab of oil right across the top of that. Not much, but just a little. Alright. I'm going to take that, I'm going to push it right down that little groove there until it falls in the slot.
There we go. Let me slide
Sure that stayed in there, and it did.
Dude, alright. Right up in there, alright.
There, there's the bolts in it.
Alright. Nice.
Now,
You
we
flip
got
it
that in
over.
there.
Put that screw in, don't we? Think there's a screw, or am I mistaken? I'm mistaken.
No, I think that's all. This lever here.
Yes, that's what else we need to put in there.
Okay, now we got that. We finally got that in the pin there. We're going to tighten this.
Note there, make sure your bolt's back if you're going to put your lever in us when you put it in. So I'll get jammed up in there.
Because it has to go up in this area of the bolt towards the front there. Had it in the wrong slot. We're going to take the buttstock and we're going to
back on it. All
pop it
right.
right up in there. Take our little screw. We're trying a new screwdriver set we got here. That other one was kind of
Wasn't working too good for us. Gonna upgrade our screwdriver game here a little bit. All right.
put just a little bit more of a tight on that.
Uh-huh.
All right.
Nice.
I tightened up all the rest of them.
All right. Let's take them out to the range and see what they can do.